I'm excited to introduce the next speaker here. If I go to the right place, next speaker here, ICT Downtown Market.
Good morning. I recognize a lot of you from last week. This is different. This is actually a result of doing a lot of studying with the food circle, which incidentally, speaking of full circle, started at the original hackathon last year. So let me get into it. So the ICT Downtown Market. In medieval times, dinner was a term defined as a showcase of a kingdom's agriculture. Inspired by Kansas agriculture, ICT Downtown Market is exactly that, a showcase of homegrown food and artistry and community. So our mission. So we want to provide our guests with locally farmed food, locally crafted produce, our products, and local talent with a family-style atmosphere that is based upon gratitude and hospitality. So the products we'll have available at this market, fresh farm food, artisan crafted food such as breads or coffee, things like that, and then local craft products. The most important part of it is the talent that we're able to facilitate once we get going. So if you look at this incredible diagram here, it's for a undisclosed location that's pretty exciting. This is to facilitate 15,000 square foot of space. So in that, if you look on kind of the right side, you've got the market, which will have all your products that we just went through. Down here on the bottom corner, it's a little cut off. That's going to be a performance stage, and it's a very mobile space so that we could have speeches there, and we can host smaller events in that area, but mainly for live music or performances. In the top left-hand corner, and you can kind of see through the very invisible walls that I have on there, there's a demonstration kitchen. So with local fresh products that's ever-changing, there's got to be a way to educate people on how to prepare that product. Then if in that same area, we have a little cafe that we're able to wake people up with if it's early in the morning. And then on that left side up there, in the northwest corner, you've got our community kitchen. Now this is the innovative part, because we've all seen grocery stores, right? We've all been to the weekly markets and things like that. This community kitchen also stands as a performance piece. It's completely open, so you can watch these types of artists get down on their craft. And we have 3 cooking stations, kind of countertop stations, and then a whole entire prep facility. This allows for farmers to come and process food. It also allows for experimental chefs to come in as guest chefs, provide their product, do tests, things like that. Also in there is going to be a indoor playground too, so that we can encourage families to come. Now that being said, I don't have a pocketbook that facilitates a $1.5 million idea. So we have to start somewhere. Building the market, we look at an idea in a non-specific location where we have a modular setup where we can sell that local product, invite food trucks to simulate that community kitchen type feeling. And this will allow us to set up a buyer's network and to take our community to facilitate a commercial venue such as the downtown market. And then throughout a couple years of this, we can also test our public market and see what they like, and then we can really make a custom plan to fit into what is already a very elaborate plan. So starting with the draw of a market in downtown, it allows us to really have a community facility to come in and use from a farmer's aspect to the cook's aspect to performance and entertainment. We can use our resources, including all the farms that are around, Wichita vacant spaces, and the talent that we possess as a showcase for Wichita and Kansas. Thank you.
Thank you again, Michael. You got me off my seat. I was like, he's ready for me. So we got some questions. We're going to jump right in. Of course, Kenton likes the mic, so.
I do love attention. So I've run the Labor Party, which is a co-working space, for about 5 years now. I don't know if you
Really?
knew about that.
No, wow.
So there's actually a big movement for taking things that are difficult. So the idea with co-working is to take something that takes a lot of money to upstart and make that open for rent, like a gym. First, full circle again. So there are some co-working certified kitchens where you can pay a small amount per month, and then you can use the certified kitchen to start a restaurant or start a sandwich shop or something like that. Have you looked at that as part of this? Is that something, or did I just give you an idea?
That's actually that's where the idea rooted from. I would love to say that being in this facility downtown that offers that kind of workspace. Oh yeah, the Labor Party was an inspiration. It did inspire me. It did make me confident that the plan will work. And so that's the idea. You have a membership to this kitchen, a quote-unquote membership, that for shared workspace. So yes.
Yeah, it does seem like a pretty big, hairy, audacious goal for the facility this size. Are there examples out there that are currently functioning in this arena that you could give us?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, that last slide, as muddled as the pictures look right now, basically because I made it and I don't know how to do this kind of stuff. The original inspiration for the entire facility, I visited Milwaukee's public market about 6 years ago. And I kept that in my back pocket and kind of picked ideas. There's also Seattle Public Market, which is huge. We're talking a 15,000 square foot facility. That's like a 400,000 square foot neighborhood. And then there's Boston Public Market. And all three of those three have different business models. So doing this smaller test will allow us to pick and choose our business model. I have vague financials drawn up based on grocery stores that have served this type of product that I've accumulated and called around and got some good tight numbers on it. But once that format is chosen, we'll be able to consider more specific numbers due to our market. Everything from a nonprofit business plan to a single ownership business plan with lots of employees, and or just a space where people can rent booths and things like that. So, yes.
Looking at the blueprint, I didn't see a spot for a digital farm space. Is that a possibility in the future? Are you familiar with those?
If I understand correctly, then no, I've never heard of it, and I have no idea what that is. Do you mind elaborating what a digital farm space is?
So Caleb Harper did a TED Talk recently about manipulating an environment for vegetables and produce, and it grows them 5 times as fast, and he's creating systems to be able to build them indoors, just along those lines of being able to have an area where you're producing the produce in-house in the building.
That would be incredible, and that takes a much larger facility. Now I understand what you're talking about. I've never heard it called a digital farming. That's incredible. There's ideas, hydroponics and things like that. There's also geodesic domes where out in Whitewater there's someone who's got 23-foot fruiting banana trees in the middle of Kansas, and it fruits year round. So I understand the methodology around it and things like that. I'm not a farmer. I support farmers wholeheartedly and market farmers as much as humanly possible. That is something that will definitely help facilitate a commercial venue, though. Yes.
Miguel, I saw that TED Talk. It was excellent. And I was just curious if you were aware that another creative approach to accessing a commercial kitchen would be through like local churches.
Absolutely, and I've thought about that, knowing, having gone to a church before. I've seen those, and those kitchens are state of the art, and that's an incredible approach, and I think that'll help support tests in this kind of arena. So thank you for bringing that up. That's awesome.
Michael,
Yes.
this is just a suggestion based off of kind of a per capita ratio. You mentioned cities like Milwaukee and Seattle. I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan last year, this time, and they have a beautiful market, which is almost exactly what you're talking about right there, that I really think that, go look it up online. I think you can find out a lot of information that you'd like there.
Did you say field trip?
Yeah, field trip.
Field trip, okay.
Lots of breweries, good place. Hey, Western Michigan, full circle again there.
What Grand Rapids?
Grand Rapids,
Okay,
Michigan.
awesome.
Beautiful city, really great people, great marketplace.
And they have much more similar of a demographic than some of these other markets. So thank you, Troy.
One question I had is, have you thought about partnering maybe with some entrepreneurs that currently own restaurants, that there might be an element where they could outsource some of the work that's being performed in their kitchen and centralize it in a...
Well, I think that's an excellent idea, and I've got my foot in the restaurant world and have for about way too long. And yes, that's a possibility. It's hard. It's easy to be innovative. It's difficult to have people be innovative with you. So on that note, support on innovation would be the key to that. So I've reached out a couple times to business owners and have put that idea in place, such as places that want to make their sauces completely proprietal. And sometimes people take a lot of pride in their facility, but I'm just as stubborn as they are. So adjusting the plan to facilitate their pride and to facilitate their product is definitely in line.
Hi.
Yes.
I lived in downtown Wichita for a year or so, and I really enjoyed like walking everywhere. So this being within, walking distance would be really convenient. But there is a niche for like, I really love your emphasis on Kansas made, Kansas grown, artisan craftsmanship. What about like toothpaste? Things that you need that we don't have, like a Walgreens or the closest thing is Dillon's at Douglas and Hillside.
So things
are
like
you open to that idea of more of a grocery type infrastructure?
Yeah, in that sort of marketplace, it's so the convenience is a lot of the business flow. Understanding how those dynamics are going to work during the testing of it is going to be incredible. Being that one-stop shop, and personally, I like going to one place sometimes and getting stuff because we're all in a hurry, we're all busy, and that's perfectly understandable. So that's something that as we do our testing, to facilitate something like that, I don't think would be a problem. I don't think that'll interrupt our theme of showcasing our locality. So thank you.
Hey, Michael.
Yes.
I have a comment and then a question regarding local food. There was an article written about 5 months ago that went through what Michael's doing, and it had a very important piece in there, and it said that if only 5% of our food consumption here in Sedgwick County was locally grown, we'd keep about $54.6, I think, million in the economy. That's a very tiny portion of your budget. We always think that local food's more expensive, but there's a very clear and important economic return in that. I know Michael, and I know how important food is to him on a cultural level. So can you speak to that and how local food can define and create a culture in our city?
Thank you, Alex. And that information is very important because as much as we want to get down and we want to talk about shop local and be local and flag and the River Fest and all that stuff, all that leads to first and foremost pride. But a very close second is economic sustainability. So every time we buy local, we're improving our city, not only because we're keeping our heads up and our chins up, but there's financial viability in taking these hundreds of programs that exist and moving them forward financially. Now, my ties to the food community we spoke to last week. Everyone has their own implications, whether it's the economic piece of it, the health piece of it, which, by the way, I'm the before picture. And then once I get a hold of you guys, we can have a pretty good after picture. But there's health implications. There's also as we raise our children, and I don't have children, but I have nieces and nephews, and when they don't know that tomatoes are actually grown on plants, and when they think that a can is a fruiting product, that's disheartening. So we can say we're taking a step backwards, or it's a technological innovation of how we provide food for the billions of people in the world. We don't want to lose those roots. We don't want to lose that knowledge. That knowledge gets passed down with these farmers who aren't millionaires. These local farmers are paying bills with a smile on their face and providing as much as they can for the community. That's my tie to it, is just that gratitude of a smile. So thank you, Alex.
Awesome, thank you. And the last question, what as a community can we do to help you?
That's a tough question. Fundraising is always on the top of the mind, just because everything we do takes money. High five each other every once in a while. Feel good about your city, feel good about the people in the city, and every bad thing that happens, there's 10 good things happening. These programs are growing. Community support is what I ask in everything. Be here just like this. Listen, know what your resources are, and reach out to somebody. Even if I'm that person, or even if I'm not that person, reach out and allow your resources to impact our community positively, please. So,
Thank you, Michael, very much.
you're welcome.